So let's talk about let's talk about the new trailer for Spiral, the Saw spin-off movie. Yeah, I forgot that was going to be a thing this year. I legit forgot about that movie because of the delays, and I was just like, all right, it's coming out. And then when it got announced, it got announced not only that it was still coming out this year, but it actually got moved up to May. I literally said out loud, "Oh yeah, that's a thing." Yeah. So for those who forgot what Spiral is, like I said, a Saw spin-off where it stars Chris Rock investigating a Saw copycat killer. So, yeah. There you go. There is your plot right there. So I saw the full there was a teaser trailer that didn't really give much. This one gives a little bit more. So for Spiral, in this storyline, we follow Chris Rock, who is playing a detective trying to find these missing cops who are being tortured and killed by a Saw copycat. So, right off the bat, I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest Saw guy. I'm not the biggest fan of... I mean, I've seen the movies, but, I've never been, a major fan of the franchise. Mostly because I think the continuity kind of, retcons itself ever so often, and also I feel like it just kind of devolved into torture porn. Well, I do like the first two movies, and there are some later sequels that actually hold up, I think. The Saw franchise on a whole just kind of devolved into torture porn territory towards the end. This film kind of looks like it's doing that. It looks like it's doing the torture porn angle to a new level. They don't even look like traps. They look more like just torture devices than anything else. That's the thing about that's the thing that is it differentiates itself from the Saw movies. That this movie, it looks like the mechanisms being used to kill people in these films aren't so much as you could find a way out of them. It's more like we're going to kill you slowly. And honestly, if they didn't say directly that this is part of the Saw universe, or even call it the Book of Saw, you wouldn't know. Because Spiral, it feels like a totally different movie from it. The only way you would know is they bring up Jigsaw. He's supposed to be dead. So I don't know where in continuity this is supposed to be. Maybe they're just going to reference the first movie and not even mention the others, or maybe just can't. I don't even think we'll get other actors in here from the Saw movies. But I will say that I think a spin-off movie that is in the same universe as this, and because there's more to a movie than to a movie's universe than just one thing. So I do wish movies. I mean, yeah, so not so much like a cinematic universe, but more like spin-off films would be a thing. Hey, this universe is just bigger than one movie. Of course, someone's gonna copy this killer or whatever. And I wish more movies would do that as fun little spin-off movies. I wish more films would do that, not just horror or anything really. I wish more people would do that. And not make it like a cinematic universe, because there is no Saw-verse here. But yeah, that's the thing, is if you had... I felt like they had to tell people that this was a Saw spinoff, because this does not feel like anything like Saw other than the traps. And I even feel like during the shooting of this movie for Spiral, they were like, "Hey guys, this just feels like a Saw ripoff. Let's just make it a Saw movie." That's how I feel like it went. Now, I know I sound like I'm shitting on this a lot, but I do think there's potential there. I'm interested in Chris Rock playing a serious role, and also I've noticed much bigger trend of comedy actors and writers getting a hold on horror, and people thinking, "Oh, it's gonna suck, it's gonna be too funny," and then it turns out to be really good. Case in point with the new Halloween film, and also the upcoming Halloween Kills film. That's a major factor right there, is that those films have comedy writers, and we've seen that before with several. I'm just pointing out that Halloween's the most recent memory. So Chris Rock in here and of course Samuel L. Jackson, he's in here too. Although it is weird that I think it would have had a little more connective tissue if they had Danny Glover play his father, because they say like his father was connected to the Saw cases, and then it's Samuel L. Jackson. I'm like, well, if that's the case, why didn't you bring back Danny Glover? Well, I forget. Did Danny Glover die in the first movie? Because I know Glover was in the first movie. I remember that. I just can't remember if he died or not. And if he didn't, like, why not just say like Chris Rock's character is him? Because also, Chris Rock is not convincing as a Samuel L. Jackson son. Because if I remember, they're only like 15 years apart. In real life, I don't know. But yeah, also, like, again, going back to, you would have to tell me that this is a Saw spinoff, because, like, they don't even use the puppet. They use, like, a new, like, meat puppet made of pigs with a cop suit on, and, like, they don't even use Billy the puppet. They don't use, like, the laugh. Yeah, like, again, like, it is, like, again, like, they are stating that this is a copycat killer, so the copycat would have a different motive and, MO. So it would stand to reason they wouldn't completely copy everything. But again, like, it does bring up the thing of, well, it feels so different from the Saw film, like, why even call it a Saw film? Oh, right, because you want to make money. Right. So, I know I sound like I'm shitting hard on this thing. I'm trying not to. I do have some curiosity of just seeing, like, Chris Rock in a serious role, and who knows, maybe this movie will be good. Like, that's the thing, is, like, they moved it up. If they have that, they moved it up either to forget about it, or they have that much faith that it will do well. I mean, realistically speaking, like, theaters don't really have that much competition due to the pandemic, so you're actually gonna, there's a good chance this might make some money. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of Spiral? I want to hear from the real diehard fans of Saw, especially. Like, are you guys excited for this? Are you guys not? Do you think that this feels too different from the Saw movies, or do you think it could, or do you think it's fine on its own? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I will see you next time in the Multiverse.